Kea Tesseyman is used to dancing on this stage, so tonight is going to be an exception. She's going to tell us the backstory. I'm a great admirer of what she gives her students and this community, and if you haven't gotten tickets yet, next weekend she's putting on a show for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So please welcome a force to be reckoned with, Kea Tesseyman.
Down this troubled road, we stumbled into. We're all in this thing together. We're gonna make it through. If you walk with me.
Good evening. Just gonna get myself set for a moment. Thank you so much, Andrea, for everyone here who's made the Wayfinder School a possible place to exist for so many in this community. It's an honor and a privilege to be asked to be here tonight and to share with you a little bit of my experience, strength, and hope. And I first just would like to say that some of my best memories on the stage have been with the Wayfinder School when we used to do Dancing with the Local Stars. So thank you for the continued support from the community for making this school possible. Thank you, guys. I can still see the billow of smoke that surrounds the lights hanging over the pool tables at Billiards in Sanford. Dire Straits plays in the background. As I clean up the ashtrays and wipe down the chalk from the rails, a massive biker wearing a leather vest and no shirt, smelling of alcohol, calls to me. "Hey, sweetie, come over here and give me a kiss and I'll give you a quarter." I freeze. Then, suddenly, I bark back, "I'm busy," trying to sound more tough than the scared 7-year-old that I am. I run behind the bar and curl up next to a keg, feeling my fear rattle through me, my dad's bartending. I rock back and forth to the sound of the music. I close my eyes, and I get lost in the guitar, the drums, the horns, and the bass rolls through me. This place I can exist, inside the music, and it holds me close as my breath returns. I experienced many strange scenes just like this as I grow up, some that left a lot more scars than I'd like to tell you. They left pathways in my brain like termites on a log. In middle school, I struggle with where to place my experiences. I'm the poor kid at the cafeteria table, left out, bullied, always trying to catch up and be included. I'm searching for a manual that's supposed to tell me how to do life, and it seems like everyone has one but me. Traumatizing situations I encounter continue to shape and mold my fight-or-flight brain. A deep need for security, a hopeless desire to belong grows within. Headphones on, you know, the ones with like the foamy cover and the metal that goes over the head? Yeah, those are the days. Walkman turns to Discman, and the book of CDs I slowly acquire becomes gold to this high schooler. Music has the power to whisk me away and take me to the place I feel I belong. My dreams of dance, here I exist. In my room, on the beach, in the woods, I dance, and it feels like a lifeboat rescuing me when I would but drown in life's presentation of circumstance and harsh lessons. I go to parties and drink to fit in, chasing the things I think I need to be okay, to be one of. I start to feel a sense of reckless abandon matched with an ever-growing awareness that this train I'm on is picking up speed and might not have its brakes intact. I look for external validation, inclusion, and acceptance, as if these are prerequisites for self-love. Fear again, the evil and corroding thread. It can pierce the veil of our existence and contaminate all things it touches. At the root of all of our insecurities, of our anger, of our resentment, our self-pity, our self-seeking, our efforts to change our outsides, to disguise our insides, lays fear. I teach dance right after I graduate from Camden Hills in 2002. How I rejoice when the students come into the studio at the old YMCA on Chestnut Street. One woman gave me a chance to teach, Annie Larita. She gave me a chance to dance when I had never taken a dance class in my life until I was 17, and I begged her to let me teach at the Y with her, dance with her in the troupe. I didn't have any money. She still gave me a chance. I feel a little glimmer of purpose and of place as these kids walk into the studio. Then suddenly, at 19, I'm a mom. Adrian. A true gift from God. I learned how to raise a child while still being a child, very much a child myself. I stumble and trip through being a young single mom, but I make sure I keep standing and keep getting back up, and because of Adrian, I stand. I do the best I can to make it in this town, living in Section 8 housing up on Matthew John Street, working multiple jobs and waitressing any shift I can get. I open Kinetic Energy Live Dance Center. Adrian is just 6 now. I try my best to improve as a person, as a mother, a teacher, and just figure out how to do life still without that manual, and still the train keeps picking up speed with no sign of slowing. The outsides are changing, but the insides had something missing. I feel untethered and unchoreographed. No matter how much I tried to match my vision of how I thought I was supposed to make it, something wasn't working. Like paddling out for another wave, I rip through life desperately trying to stay afloat. Each icy cut through the water with my hand is taking pieces of me slowly. And even though I can feel the wave coming behind me, the ever-constant set of the sea keeps beaming down upon me. Abuse and past trauma, fear, financial insecurity, fear of people's opinions, fear that I'm never going to be enough for this child, it all overcomes me. I simply cannot see the horizon, no matter how hard I paddle, and I keep falling off the wave whenever I seem to get up. I feel truly alone in the great, vast ocean of life. I could sink below the surface, become consumed by fear and doubt, and not enough salt in the world could have lifted me up. No human power could have relieved me, and I can't hear the music anymore. It's snowing in January 2013. I'm looking out my window, wondering how I'm going to come up with rent in 2 weeks. As the wave crushes down, I do something I've never done before. I say very quietly, I can't do this anymore. Please help me. Now, I can't tell you who I was speaking to at the time, or even what I meant by this, but there was surrender in my heart, and quite immediately, there was a tiny glimpse of relief. You see, the pain I felt inside in that moment was a sense of uselessness and complete lack of understanding of why I was here. I make a call, and I hear the words, "You are not alone. Hope exists. There is a way." And an idea to trust in a power greater than myself is presented to me. With help, I came to believe that I was a conduit of strength, hope, and grace to pass on to others through service. Over time, that feeling of something wrong inside, of uselessness, slipped away like the tide and has never returned. I had carried that heavy feeling my whole life, and suddenly, it was easing. It was lifted. Dance, a constant in my life. And this glorious relationship with my son as we dance side by side, how grateful I am that this is what I get to do and who I get to be. And I ask myself, what would a woman who trusts and relies upon a power greater than herself look like? Say, do, be, act. What would that woman be? This work becomes the underpin of my belief that I am not alone and that I am here for a purpose greater than one I could ever write for myself. Dance is the locomotive I use to communicate. I can articulate feelings trapped within the body, and it is a craft where I feel just okay the way that I am. And for those of you that know me, this weird, silly, dorky kid with tons of energy is just okay now. I gain the proper tools to address my PTSD from past events and recreate the lens through which I see this world and our tiny existence in it. Now I feel the courage and strength inside of me to keep paddling no matter the storm that surrounds, no matter how high the seas. Serenity floods within. I know now with my full heart that the horizon is there. I see it when I close my eyes, and all I need to do to keep feeling this is to be of service to others. Give it a way to keep it. I turn on the music now, and it all makes sense. The feeling of safety and of inspiration. I want to give that same freedom to another child who might feel just an ounce of how I felt growing up. I want them to know they too are not alone. And today, the only thing that feels real is inspiring young people to find self-love, acceptance, and confidence. the very things that took so long for me to find. And when I am present for each student, right there, I got 2 of them in the audience today. Hey, girls. When I'm present for each student, suddenly that scared 7-year-old inside me and all I encountered throughout my childhood heals a little bit. From a teen mom with no car in Section 8 to putting my now 19-year-old son through college, I can confidently stand before you, an imperfect, flawed human, and tell you that healing from trauma exists. Rerouting neural pathways, recovering neuroplasticity, and recovery exists. 21 years in front of the mirror can show you a lot of things. How I found my way is a trail of pivot moments, which kept leading me back to the studio and to the kids of this community. As we prepare for our own show just next Friday, thanks, Andrea, for that, one thing is for sure, that when I shine light into their lives each day, it would appear that my life is suddenly filled with light too. I believe we are all a part of a greater collective that is needing our attention, our intention, and connection. So, I ask you, how can we get there and lead our kids to this path of grace, courage, and self-love sooner than we found it? I'll leave you with this quote that is quite special to me by George Bernard Shaw. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world would not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I've got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Thank you.